Hello, good afternoon. Welcome to Joy News Today. We are live from our studios in Kokomlemle. We're on DTT because we're free to air on DSTV channel 421 and GoTV channel 144. We are your home of independent, fearless, and credible journalism. Coming up this afternoon, committee investigating a Piazza explosion fines Maxam Ghana Limited $6 million for regulatory breaches regarding the manufacture, storage, and transportation of explosives for mining and other civil works. We have a breakdown of that report shortly. Also in this bulletin, Asin North MP James Dachi accused of ordering his bodyguard to throw out a court official who had attempted to give him some documents. We have details as the Supreme Court directs that the Chief Justice is petitioned for appropriate investigations to take place. Plus, today is No Calls Day. This is according to a group of Ghanaians who are in opposition to the chaotic ongoing SIM re-registration across the country. We'll hear from the organizers.
We want to look at the situation where in the very near future, if there is still no consultation, we will cascade this till it really becomes a dent or a mark in terms of the national telecom landscape.
And a 70-year-old man assaulted for practicing witchcraft at Damango in the Savannah region. My name is Aisha Ibrahim. Remember, we are streaming live on our social media handles at Joy News on TV. Tweet at us with the hashtag Joy News Today. My personal handle is at Banana Aisha. Instagram at Aisha Joy News. And YouTube at Aisha-TV. Please stay for details. Many thanks for choosing us. My name is Aisha Ibrahim. The committee investigating a Piazza explosion fines Maxam Ghana Limited $6 million for regulatory breaches regarding the manufacture, storage, and transportation of explosives for mining and other civil works. The breaches were identified by a three-member committee set up by the government to investigate the explosion that occurred at a Piazza in the Pretiahuni Valley municipality of the Western region, which killed some 14 people and raised the entire community down. In its report, the committee noted that Maxam had breached regulatory processes.
In addition to the fine, it has been agreed after extensive discussions with Maxam that the company will pay the government of Ghana the cedi equivalent of $5 million also at the prevailing commercial rate. And this says that for the avoidance of doubt, the total amount by Maxam to the government stands at $6 million or its cedi equivalent at the commercial prevailing rate. So without doubt, government says, even though ideally, if you look at the scope within the law, how much you are supposed to charge them for what's currently happening or what they are supposed to have breached, it's supposed to range between 600 cedis and $10,000. Okay. But administrative charges that the government has levied against Maxam is $1 million. Apart from that, Maxam is also supposed to pay government of Ghana an amount of $5 million. In all, we are talking about $6 million. The cedi equivalent of which, at the prevailing commercial rate, is what will be paid to the coffers of the government for what has happened, because there were breaches and because Maxam sat with government to discuss many others. That's not all. It also says that Maxam shall pay the fine of $1 million or cedi at the prevailing commercial before the restoration of its permit to manufacture, store, supply, and or transport explosives. So the money gets back to its original fold. If the $1 million is not paid, the permit, you know, it was suspended for investigations commence, right? Yeah. That permit will not be restored. And given the demonstrable cash inflows of Maxam and their current circumstances, the remaining $5 million should be paid in 18 equal monthly installments from the 1st of March 2022 to the 1st of August 2023. So the payment structure is this way. Okay. If you pay the $1 million first, government of the Republic of Ghana will give you a license to operate. Okay. But from that particular date, the next $5 million ought to be paid in equal monthly installments of 18 months. And we're talking about the 1st of March 2022 to the 1st of August 2023. Now, the government is also saying that Maxam shall therefore pay to government on the 1st of March 2022 and on every first day of each month until final payment an amount of $277,777 $0.78, 8 cedi equivalent,
okay,
which will be paid to government of Ghana on the 1st of every particular month.
In that same report, the minister goes ahead to say that they've put in place measures to ensure mining or people who are engaged in mining follow the procedures so we don't have this recur. What does the minister say?
So 2 things. It separates the specific things that Mazam's supposed to do,
okay,
so that it doesn't end up in what we found ourselves in the last couple of weeks.
And if it has failure to do that, they will not get back their license.
Yes, and it actually says that Mazam shall not transport on a public road,
okay,
unless notice of the transportation has been given to a chief inspector of the mines or the regional mines inspector.
That was my colleague Raymond Akwa with excerpts of that report. Now, a bailiff tasked to give court documents to MP James Dachikwesi says he was thrown out of the legislator's office by a bodyguard. This was revealed by Supreme Court Registrar Matthew Antiye, who was asked to brief the court on the matter. Court officials at the Supreme Court and prosecutors at the High Court have on separate occasions pointed out their inability to find the MP to hand in court processes. A Cape Coast High Court in July 2021 ruled that Mr. Kwesi was not eligible to contest the 2020 polls as he held dual citizenship. Mr. Kwesi has since been fighting to set this aside, with the matter currently pending at the Court of Appeal. There's a case at the Supreme Court seeking to stop him from performing parliamentary duties, while another filed at the High Court accuses him of forgery. Our man, Joseph Akable, has been in court. He joins us with the latest on efforts to give the MP court documents, which we're told did not turn out well. Joseph Akable, what more do we know about this alleged assault?
So according to the court officials, they say that the officials, that is the bailiff specifically, have gone over to the office of the MP to give him the court documents, but on arrival, they explained that they met the MP and interacted with him and informed him that they had come to give him court documents. But they say that the MP said he was not going to meet with them or interact with them or take the documents from them, and rather asked that his personal assistant sends them out. And when that proved unsuccessful by way of they leaving the place, he then asked the bodyguard to throw them out of his office. And we are told that the bodyguard then physically threw the court bailiff out of the office. We understand that an attempt was also made at the private residence of the MP in the central region, but that also proved unsuccessful as they were informed by a caretaker of the house that the MP had traveled and they were not sure of when to be available to even receive the said document. And so that is by way of what we know with regards to the assault.
Well, we understand the Chief Justice is to investigate this matter.
That is the directive that came from the President of the panel, Justice Jones Doche. He says the registrar should write to the Chief Justice, formally informing the Chief Justice of this alleged assault that has taken place. Then the Chief Justice will enable investigations to take place into the matter to ensure that justice is served by way of the court official who has been allegedly assaulted.
So how about attempts to serve the MP at his private residence, Akable?
That also did not prove successful. And so as it stands now, we understand that effort will still be made to find the MP and give him those documents. From what we've been told per the statements that were made available to the court from the court bailiff, we understand that the MP's caretaker, who is in charge of his private residence, told them that the MP had traveled. And so they tried 2 places. First, his residence in the region and also his office here in Accra.
So what's next for the individuals who are seeking to block the MP from performing parliamentary duties, Akable?
The case has been adjourned to March 1, but we understand that they will be making an application for substituted service. If between now and March 1, they are unable to reach the MP to serve him with those documents. And so for now, he remains a man that is being sought after by the officials from the court registry to inform him simply of court proceedings. It's important to know that there's another matter that is up tomorrow at the High Court. That is the criminal case that has been filed against him, the charges of perjury and forgery. So that also will come up tomorrow. It's not clear yet if prosecutors have been able to inform him of that court date as well.
Joseph Akable is court correspondent, and he's been talking about Dachikwesi, who is MP for Assin North. and all the issues surrounding his being MP. To other issues, from 6 a.m. to midday today, a group of notable Ghanaians turned off their phones to protest chaotic ongoing SIM registration across the country. The process has been fraught with system challenges and network failure, leaving many subscribers frustrated and worried. The queues, however, keep forming because Ghanaians are racing to meet the March-ending deadline for the exercise, beyond which you can't make calls, tests, or carry out some financial transactions because your line will be blocked. Concerned mobile network subscribers have made some demands. Here are the demands. The National Communication Authority should immediately withdraw its directive for mobile network customers to re-register their SIM cards by 31st March. And they're therefore demanding that the NCA and mobile network operators must come up with a better and more innovative way. The group includes a former Kumbungo Member of Parliament, Ras Mubarak, and the Dean of University of Ghana School of Law, Professor Raymond Atuguba, President and Vice President of Imani Africa, Franklin Kujo, and Kofi Bentel, private legal practitioner, Samson Ladi Anyenene. Let's hear from former Kumbungo MP, Ras Mubarak, who has joined us via Zoom. I'm grateful for your time. You are back online, correct?
Correct. Good afternoon to viewers, Aisha, and thank you very much, for following up on our course to ensure that the right thing is done, to ensure that this re-registration exercise is done within law, and to ensure that the dignity of the Ghanaian customer is upheld by the service providers.
So do you think your protest was effective?
Absolutely effective. I mean, this is, for the first time in the history of our country, we have had a petition, signed by more than 7,000, Ghanaians up and down the country. Following the issues on social media, we've seen a lot of interest, a lot of excitement with many Ghanaians signing up. As a matter of fact, there were a lot who felt that, this should have been an entire day's program, and we are hopeful that by the close of next week, some of the demands that we have put forward would be addressed, because if they were not to be addressed, then it will leave us with no option than to scale the protest, to 12 hours. We should also include a raft of other measures we're keeping up our sleeve.
So what next? If actually nothing changes, what else would you do?
So one option open to us is to increase it from 6 hours to 12 hours. Today's protest was mainly for voice calls, that no one should receive and make calls, on voice, but we're hoping that it gets resolved. If it does not, then obviously we would have to include data until, the issues that we are raising are addressed. And Aisha, these are critical issues. I mean, we're talking about the telecommunications industry, that ought to harness the available technology and to ensure that a re-registration exercise is done, one, within law, and secondly, in a very comfortable and a very convenient manner. As it stands now, the process is not convenient, it's not comfortable. These are the hallmarks of good customer service, and all we are seeking for is to have the NCA and the MNOs treat the Ghanaian customer with dignity. Imagine for a moment the senior citizen who is bedridden, who is unable to move from her home to a registration center to register. Imagine the Ghanaian woman who has had to register her Ghana card in her maiden name, and then when she got married, assumed another name, but is told that she cannot, have her SIM card synchronized and recognized because the name on her Ghana card, which is her maiden name, is different from what she's presenting currently. So it's fraught with a lot of challenges, and we hope that they would hold the current process. It's been extremely chaotic. I mean, people are still staying in queues for up to 6-7 hours. There are people who go there in the morning and leave at 3 p.m. and still not get registered. So it's a lot of frustration. And imagine the taxi driver who's had to, spend 5 hours in a queue, he's definitely going to lose his, daily bread. And these are the sort of things that Ghanaians are confronted with. Fortunately, we can harness new technology, build a mobile app, get this thing done appropriately without human interface.
So how long are you expecting to get results, and failure to do so, which will lead to the second leg of your protest?
So we gave them ample time from the time that we announced the protest until today, when the first leg of the protest kick-started. It's been about a month. They haven't shown any interest in addressing the issues that we have raised. And we are well poised to continue next week and in ensuing weeks, just to drum home the issue that, look, it will be unconstitutional to block the SIM card of any Ghanaian, because inherent in our constitution is a right, inalienable right, to own property. People's SIM cards are their properties. The senior citizen who is home, who only enjoy moments with their grandchildren or his grandchildren when they get to call them, should not be denied or deprived of an opportunity, to engage family and friends.
I'm grateful for your time. Ras Mubarak is former Kumbungo MP, and he's a member of the group who are observing no call day from 6 to 12 today. He says they would continue with the protest if they do not get response from the appropriate authorities. Now, the Roads Minister, Kwesi Amoakwata, says plans are underway to convert abandoned toll booths into washrooms in the various parts of the country. According to the minister, the move is to ensure the cessation of the practice whereby commuters and drivers ease themselves by the roadside. The minister revealed this after officials of the National Road Safety Authority appealed to the ministry to remove the various toll booths if the government had no alternate use for them.
The third accrual into the road fund is the we have the safety departments. So I have director of safety, in our all the agencies. So safety issues are key, and Ghana National Road Safety Authority, we work with them hand in hand, and we will know it. If you listen to the news reportage, they even indicated that from their interaction with us, they realized that we ourselves had even taken that step already. We know it, So at the appropriate time, we are going to take them out, and we have alternative use for all the 38 or so toll booth centers across the country, because we have plans for all those who were working in the toll booths. Okay, we are going to continue to work with them, and we have come out with a lot of suggestions. We even want to refurbish all those toll booth structures to provide proper and decent washrooms, for instance, for the use by motorists.
Joining me for more on this is Cecil Gabra. He's Executive Director and founder of Top Tech Transport and Logistics Limited. I'm grateful for your time, Mr. Gabra. As a road safety consultant, how does this decision by government come across to you? Kindly unmute for me.
Are you okay now? Can you hear me?
Loud and clear, I can hear you.
Right, okay. So let me just roll back a little bit. We have been in this country where our educational system has been played with, let me put it that way, right? Party A comes and says that I have cancelled secondary schools. Party B comes back and says, oh, okay, it's good for us to have JSS. Now, with the issue on the toll booths, what I can see is that Party A, Party B may come back and say, look here, why do we have to demolish the toll booths? Why did we take a decision to say we are not going to pay tolls? So if Party A says that we should demolish this, I think we must hold on. Do we have any legislative to say that toll booths is not coming back again? I mean, we are in this country, let's face it. So I feel it must not be demolished because the amount of money that went into it, I mean, if you look at the toll booths, it's really made up of solid concrete, which means a lot of metal works also went into it. I feel we should hold on. At the moment, Parliament is fighting with itself, whether e-levy or no e-levy. We don't know what will happen. It's a situation which is dicey, but I feel that this is an opportunity for us to rather fix rumble strips to slow us down. Because what is the essence of the toll booths? When it was there, it was used for collection. Now that it is no longer there, I feel that, honestly speaking, it must not be demolished now. We should hold on and see what happens in the future. But for the interim, drivers must also be educated. Look here, you cannot just zoom past any toll booth, zoom just like that so fast. It is an error. Somebody could even be behind the toll booth. And therefore, we should rather fix rumble strips to slow us down, slow every driver down. That will not create traffic. I mean, I have come to the realization that it is not the toll booths that causes traffic, right? If you go to Kaswa, that may be for another day. If you will let me go ahead, I'll talk about the Kaswa incident. But then for now, in the evening also, if you could have protection from the police to either put up the police patrol vehicles, I know we have a lot, strobe lights to be put along some of the dangerous toll booths. And then drivers must know that they have to slow down when they get there, okay? So I feel it must not be demolished. It cannot also be used for toilet facilities. I mean, now look at the Tamamoto Way, for instance. I mean, look at the toll booths there, right? I'm really doubting if it can be converted to toilet facilities. I mean, let's put up structures that will be meant for public toilets for vehicles and then manage it very well than converting toll booths. I mean, vehicles are passing through, just like what you are showing. I mean, where will the toilet facilities be? I think on this part, the minister has to look at it very well and then find solutions to it. But I am saying it must not be demolished for now. Let us wait to see what happens. And then rather, we should fix up rumble strips. Rumble strips are what we call the sleeping policemen. And then when it's arranged in a set of 3, that when you run past them, it gives you that it will not let you be comfortable when you're driving on that strip of it. So to slow you down before you cross the toll booth.
And that could help in also resolving some of the accidents. I'm grateful for your time, Cecil Gabra. He's a transport road safety consultant and is director at Top Tech. Now, to other stories, Vice Chancellor of the University of Allied Sciences, Professor John Japon, has revealed of an impending meeting this afternoon between the Vice Chancellors, UTAG, and the government in an attempt to resolve the strike by the university teachers. Speaking on the AM show, Professor Japon said the meeting is without the involvement of the National Labour Commission.
Yesterday, following the court decision, NLC called for a meeting. And we are told that UTAG did not honor the meeting because, as they've always put it, they don't trust the NLC.
through its lawyer, it made it clear that it wasn't going to be there.
Yeah. So Vice Chancellor's Ghana is working behind the scenes to try and facilitate a discussion. I can tell you for a fact that this afternoon, Vice Chancellor's Ghana, EU TAG, and the employer are going to have a meeting. So all is not lost. I sincerely believe that once we sit around the table, there will be some give and take, and then we move on. We all want to put this behind us.
So basically, what failed to happen yesterday is going to happen today?
Without NLC.
Without the NLC?
Yes.
Why? Is it because the NLC is a problem?
I don't want to get into that. As I said, I don't speak for UTAG, and I've never engaged NLC in recent times. But I believe that the court said that the employer and the employees should talk. Right. As to whether it is facilitated by NLC or facilitated by Vice Chancellor's Ghana. I think at the end of the day, we want a solution. So let's leave it as that.
Well, there are a group of students who wanted to protest against this strike by their lecturers, but their demonstration has been called off by the police. I'm privileged to be joined by Kofi George, who is the lead convener for the Coalition of Concerned University Students. Kofi, I'm grateful for your time this afternoon. What has led to the police calling off your demonstration?
Good afternoon to your cherished viewers. I would utilize this opportunity to state clearly that any premeditated sabotage that the Ghana Police Service is utilizing to suppress the collective voice of the university students won't work. We will resist all forms.
But first of all, why do you say so? Why do you say the police is victimizing?
I say this because earlier yesterday around 11 a.m. we met the regional command of the Ghana Police Service, and we were able to finalize our approval with the routes and with other modalities on how best our peaceful protest would be taken. So at 1 p.m. we were done with everything. We returned back to campus to mobilize and keep on encouraging our students. So lately we had a call from the regional command at the national headquarters of the Ghana Police Service that we need to meet immediately because a decision wasn't reached on the phone call. So we had to meet around 11 p.m. at University campus, University of Ghana campus. That was where we realized that the options being given us were so compelling to the extent that they wanted to change our route, a route of protest which has been already approved earlier during the day.
Hello, Kofi George. It does look like
try to sabotage our mobilization by wanting to change the route. So we didn't reach to a decision, and we told them that is a route we've been able to mobilize our students on, because most of the students, you bear with me, were all on campus, and they wanted us to use the circle route. We told them that mobilization needs days, it needs hours of preparation, it needs hours of sensitizing the students on what we are doing. So we are being compelled that if we don't conform to the rules, they will be compelled to place an injunction on our demonstration.
So what's next for your group to actually ensure that you get this protest?
Yeah, so we stated clearly to the regional command and the national headquarters of the Ghana Police Service that if they continue with this intimidation, the best thing we'll do is that today, later in the day, we have a meeting with them, and we are joining other groups, and we are demonstrating on Thursday, as we stated in our immediate release, because we feel that if this matter is not addressed, it's the ordinary Ghanaian university student that keeps on suffering. The students that have paid exorbitant fees, huge sums of monies for the hostel.
Kofi George, he is the lead convener, Coalition of Concerned University Students.
Address this issue.
He's made the point that the students are bent on ensuring that they get their lecturers to come back to class. Now, a 70-year-old man, Isahako Mahamadou, has been assaulted for practicing witchcraft at Damango in the Savannah region. Sutse accused Isahako of making a child sick and also spiritually killing another person. The 70-year-old man is currently receiving treatment at the Damango Catholic Hospital. It could be recalled that Mary Ibrahim, a 62-year-old woman, Damango, was also almost killed for practicing witchcraft. Isahako's grandson, Abdulaziz, has been speaking to Joy News. His grandson Abdulaziz has been telling Joy News that his grandfather is currently doing well, but he wants justice. Even though the case has been reported to the police, he says not much has been done, and the family expects justice to be served on the perpetrators. And still to come in the bulletin, the Driver and Vehicle Licensing Authority has revealed it will soon roll out a voice-over touchscreen test in 6 local dialects. We'll bring you details shortly in business.
Apologies, welcome to business. My name is Daryl Kwa. The Driver and Vehicle Licensing Authority, DVLA, has revealed it will soon roll out a voice-over touchscreen test in 6 local dialects. The computer-based test, which will be conducted in Chi, Nzema, Ewe, Hausa, and Dagbani, is to enhance drivers' competency and, in effect, improve safety on the roads. The authority also indicated it has collaborated with the Environmental Protection Agency, the Attorney General's Office, and the Ghana Standards Authority to implement standards to regulate carbon emissions from all vehicles. There's more in this report.
Recent years have seen enormous technological transformation in DVLA's business operations. An introduction of language-based computer tests is one of the many eminent technological and digitalization initiatives of the authority. Speaking at the opening of the Obuasi office of the DVLA, Chief Executive Officer Kwesi Ajiman noted that the authority is gradually tuning to digitalization to render efficient and sustainable services.
In the last 5 years, I've seen significant changes in the authority. We have taken back control of our IT estate, and now we're going through a period of stabilization as we transform our business. On the driver's side of our mandate to improve road safety and thereby driver competency, we will implement the upgrade of computer-based tests in the next few months. A voice-over touchscreen which will include 6 vernacular languages.
The Obuasi office of the DVLA started off with only 2 offices. However, it can now boast of several ultramodern offices to efficiently serve its customers. The newly commissioned edifice houses premium, registration, biodata capturing, and custom offices. According to District Manager of Obuasi DVLA Office, Edwin Ofori, his office accrued an increased revenue of 11.3% in 2021.
Under my leadership when I took over in June 2019, revenue target was increased in Obuasi office here. In 2020, revenue was also increased by 7.13%.
With prevalent cases of road carnages, Transport Minister Kweku Ofori Esiama assured that government is not relenting its efforts to curtail ravaging road accidents in the country.
Government will not relent on its effort to stop the carnage on our roads. As part of the ongoing interventions, we have commenced a process to review the Road Traffic Act 2004 at 683 and the Road Traffic Regulation 2012 LI 2180 to keep up with the changing trends in the road transport industry and also address some implementation lapses.
From Obuasi for Joy News, Emmanuel Bright Kweku.
Now, the private sector has been charged or urged to play a leading role in addressing the rising housing deficit, which presently hovers around 2 million housing units. According to Chief Executive Officer of Properties GH, Eugene Bardodu, government does not have enough capacity to build so many houses, and therefore the private sector should lead the agenda. He was speaking to Joy Business at the launch of properties.com website that connects consumers with properties to buy or rent. There is more in this report.
Looking for affordable home to rent or buy is a major problem in this country, not to talk about information. But Properties GH is making it easier for prospective house owners and those looking for rent. Here is its Chief Executive, Eugene Bardodu, who believes the private sector is critical in addressing the rising housing deficit.
The private sector has a role to play. And we at propertiesgh.com, we also realize that sometimes the reason for that deficit is just a mismatch or lack of communication, where someone who is actually looking for a property is not able to find that property, because we still have, even though there's a deficit, we still have consumers who are looking for a place to rent all the time, but are not able to find it within a reasonable time. So we are doing our part in trying to solve the mismatch problem, but going on further on, I think the private sector has a huge role, and we don't only always have to rely on the government to play that role.
He also urged the government to partner the private sector to enhance the housing sector to build affordable housing for all.
Any policy prescription I would have said to encourage more of private government partnership in a lot of ventures, and then to create an enabling environment for people who want to actually build for the masses or to bring affordable housing to the population.
The presence of Property GH is expected to bring relief to many Ghanaians who come around looking for houses to buy or rent. Majid Michel is the brand ambassador for Properties GH.
Story on the launch of propertiesgh.com. A quick programming alert for you before I take leave of you is the Ghana's debt crisis conversation is from a student's perspective that's happening at 1 p.m. on the marketplace with Charles Aite. Participating schools: University of Ghana Business School, University of Cape Coast School of Business, UPSA Faculty of Accounting and Finance, and Valley View School of Business. That's in 20 minutes. You don't want to miss that conversation. Up next, sports.
And now to other stories. A driver's mate has been confirmed dead after an articulated truck loaded with bags of rice ran into another truck loaded with cement on Kumasi-Accra Road. Wahid Tayo, 25, died on the spot as the driver of the rice-loaded truck, identified as Musa Martin, in critical condition, received treatment at the Jusso Government Hospital. The impact of the crash was so heavy that it completely shattered the trailer head, and the engine was forced to dislodge from the vehicle. My colleague Ohemen Teria, who was at the scene, reports the accident has brought an unbearable impact on the traveling public as the Kumasi-Ejuso and Ejuso-Fumesua stretch was blocked to traffic for several hours. Ohemen joins us with more. Ohemen, what more can you tell us about this accident?
Thank you, Ivy. According to the police MTTD, the accident occurred at about 5 a.m. This morning when two trucks heading from the Accra-Kumasi direction, one loaded with several bags of rice and the other loaded with cement bags. You know, the one with the rice hit the back of the truck loaded with cement, causing the accident on the spot. The driver's mate died on the spot, and the driver of the truck loaded with rice, identified as Musa Martin, was also injured in the process and currently receiving treatment at the Joso government hospital. It took the police MTTD from the Joso, led by the MTTD commander ASP Francis Emriku, several hours, to direct traffic because the one section of the road was blocked to traffic, meaning that those traveling from Accra, instead of using the other dual carriage lane, were forced to use the road that leads from Kumasi to Accra direction, and it brought unbearable sort of effect on especially commuters who were left stranded for several hours until about 10 a.m. and when police brought in a recovery truck to move the two accident trucks from the scene to pave way for a free flow of traffic.
Ohiminteria is our man there with updates of that accident. Let's take a break now on Joy News Today. Up next is Showbiz with Becky.
Hello, good afternoon. Welcome to Showbiz here on Joy News. Now, Ghanaian filmmaker Leila Jansi has been named one of the mentors for Netflix and UNESCO project African Folk Tales. Reimagine is a short film competition across sub-Saharan Africa. The winners will be trained and mentored by industry professionals and provided with $75,000 production budgets to create short films that will premiere on Netflix this year. The award-winning filmmaker says she's excited about the opportunities this project will provide emerging filmmakers from Africa. We're from Leila, Ghanaian drama parkour, who has played for some high life grades, started the Parkour Fest in the US and some European countries, a festival that has thrilled a white audience for 5 years. At Alliance Francaise over the weekend, the third edition of the Ghana version Parkour Fest was held. Ibrahim Bembako filed this report.
The third edition of the Parkour Fest took place at Alliance Francaise with Lamisi, Betta Simmons, Jidibly Ambly, and Parkour with its Afrofusion Orchestra, thrilling patrons to authentic African rhythms. Lamisi, Betta Simmons, and Ambly expressed their profound excitement about the Parkour Fest.
They were very lively, I must.
What does it tell you of your music, if they were lively enough to you?
I think with the expatriates, they really appreciate arts. They don't need to understand the language, but once it's good, it sounds good to them. They enjoy it and they give it that positive vibe and energy whilst performing.
Beautiful, beautiful energy. I mean, it was so good. People are here to enjoy themselves, listen to good music, and you always want the audience to be part of your show. And and they showed it, and it was so great. It bounces back to us, and it makes us perform better. I really enjoyed it.
How do you see the Parkour Fest
Fantastic. We need such things in Ghana. It gives us something to look forward to. They have this all over, the world. We don't have any such festival. This festival is an international one. And big ups to Parkour. For bringing this to Ghana. I think he's done a lot. When I came to Ghana, Parkour was the first drummer I played with. And it always gives me joy to see him progressing from one stage. He's too much. He's too much.
It's always pleasant, when you're on the floor performing and people sitting down listening, and you can see from the reaction of them, if the music is good or not, it doesn't want to tell you what to play the next time around. So we keep on reading each other and seeing how, we're going to, because we're here to entertain them. And we've got to make sure that the entertainment side is always taking place.
Well, I don't know what you think of the festival itself by Parkour the drummer.
It's a good thing that he's doing because him being in the States doing some other things in the States and coming back. These are the things that we need to do. Okay. Because if we don't do it for ourselves, who's going to do it? So the initiative that he's taking, like every year, trying to come and establish this, I think is wonderful.
Paco, the festival host, who was excited about the festival, said he brought it to Ghana because his people need to enjoy what he has been doing around the world.
Yeah, because, my hometown, they need to enjoy me and enjoy the music I'm doing. So I feel like, and when I do that too, I think it will help, people will travel around and come, as Mr. John Cantor, the professor of music, he came out, so I think if I keep doing it, it's going to help, people will come and see it.
Well, Aisha, on that note, we end Showbiz here on Joy News today. Good to see you today.
Thank you, Vicky, for Showbiz, and that's how we wrap up News Today. My name is Aisha Ibrahim. Many thanks for watching. Enjoy the rest of our programs.
Bye.